Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on September 12th. I am Cursor.
And I'm Hifrock.
We have, we have some amount of news to discuss first thing this morning. Well, okay, I always forget.
Yeah.
This afternoon or evening for you, morning for me. Actually, it's afternoon. Anyway, I just got up a couple of hours ago. That's how you can tell. Uh, we have the deck lists for the Meticulous Talks Invitational drop. Now, we're not going to go into detail on them, as there's 32 of them.
Yeah.
But they're there. They're up in Reddit, and I've linked in the Discord, main CCG Discord as well. Invite everyone to go take a look. There's some real interesting stuff in there. Product of a particular little restriction that we put on stuff. And the first match will be next week, September 19th, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Don't know who it's going to be yet. We'll see what schedule works out for the players, but it should be interesting. And then every Saturday from there on out until the end of October.
Yep. Did you find commentators?
So we have Andrew, who had volunteered. And then besides that, I'll probably I can pull a few from the field, like people who
Yep.
aren't in that match. Yeah, we'll make it work.
Sounds great.
All right. But for today, it's been more than a month, I think, since we last talked about spoilers.
Yeah, and there aren't 60 of them. What's up with that?
It's interesting, I know, yes. They've been coming out at a relatively steady, but relatively slow pace. We only have 16 new ones since the last time we one of these streams. There's been a couple of others that were originally released without art and have now had their art attached to them. We're not going to be talking about those today, given that we already spoke about them mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to it. And I suppose it's worth pointing out that in the case of both of us, these are going to be pretty raw first impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was busy with the tournament. I thought with various other things, so didn't really get a chance to analyze these when they first dropped. And in the case of some of them, it was only last week during Sim stream that they did drop. So let's see. Alrighty. So we start off with the Pinkie Pie Tricorn. This one is pretty old. This was Google a little while ago, right? Dropped this, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So orange, pink, yellow. The usual Tricorn stat line. Hasty. And at the start of your turn, choose an opposing friend, resource, and troublemaker. Each card chosen this way, either randomly. Nothing happens. Card loses its abilities. Card gets dismissed, or card goes back into its owner's hand.
Fun.
Absolutely fun. Lots of random choices. Great for those coffee players out there.
Yeah, it's 25%, right? That's considered pretty good for Poppy.
Generally, yes. Just a D4. Think all three of there are no bad options in there.
Nope.
Do nothing is not good, but it's not bad either. And then all the others are some form of sort of quasi removal.
Yeah. It's is that the first time you can dismiss a troublemaker?
No, yellow's been dismissing troublemakers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yellow can do that.
The there's some risk attached because often enough, like if you want to pick a friend, for example,
Mm-hmm.
there are plenty of friends who you would love to dismiss but would hate to put into your opponent's hand. No.
Yeah, but if that's like, you can choose just to not choose that friend.
Yeah.
Also, a fun fact about this ability: it's mandatory.
True.
Like, you have to choose everything if you can, and you can't just not do it. So yeah, I guess there is the risk because of it's mandatory. Like if the only friend they have on the board is like old money, I know old money is banned, but like as an example, you don't want to bounce that back.
Absolutely. Yeah. With resources and troublemakers, I think we're pretty much set. All of them are good
Mm-hmm.
options.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. The hasty on a 5 cost, probably a little bit less relevant than usual.
Yeah, and given no like immediate effects either. Like the ability happens at the start of your turn, so playing it at hasty is basically just playing a 5 power thing.
Yeah. You can put it in at the end of your opponent's turn to kind of surprise them with the trigger.
Yeah, so they don't have time to react.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're also banking 5 AT, which might tip the opponent off. Something's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Colors.
But this way, like, they won't remove it during their main phase. It would feel pretty bad to play this card, and then your opponent just like removes it in their main phase with some main phase card.
Good point.
So hasty helps with that. Doesn't help against immediates though. But yeah, we'll see how much fun people will have with this card. Uh, it is a pretty good removal, even though it's random. Most of those things are pretty good,
Yeah.
and you can.
All of those are things that have been worth a card before.
Mm-hmm.
So chance to potentially do 3 of them each turn.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Next, Tricorn.
Next. Oh yeah, it is Tricorn next. That's right. The other one. Uh the blue, purple, white Legion of Doom. They have a villain card and a Tricorn card in this set.
Yeah, and it's actually Tricorn because there's 3 characters. So
Yeah, so friend with all the traits. Um you might have 1 less to play this card for each frightened opposing friend. You get to exhaust the card to dismiss a frightened friend, main phase, and at the end of your turn, if an opponent has at least 3 frightened friends, 1 to score a point. As was pointed out, lots of synergy with frightening stuff, but no way to actually frighten stuff with this card.
just get the Luna. She's good at that.
True. Pretty good synergy in your Reanimator deck, perhaps.
Yeah, I think doesn't Luna also like just differs by 1 color? She's orange.
Orange instead of blue, yes.
Yeah. So you might even mix in Luna, but blue has a bunch of ways to frighten things, and as like the main, for example.
The new Tyrek main, yes.
Yeah. Pancake mentions that a lot of tricorns have like pseudo protection, and hasty seems to be the biggest protection.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
This one doesn't.
this one kind of breaks that, but it's fine. Also, Naysay just hates this card. It's just
Yeah.
can't deal with it. So many traits.
They're all correct traits. Can't argue with any of them.
I can argue with the Pegasus. Like, if she's an Alicorn, is she Pegasus?
Well, wasn't Big Mac both an Earth Pony and an Alicorn?
Yeah, that's the argument
Yeah.
I heard on Discord.
That's consistency.
Yep.
So, as far as the card goes, mentioned Blue's got plenty of ways to frighten stuff already. So chances are, well, outside of Reanimator, which is going to be paying 2 this card with a catchy song, or 4 with an Orchard Blossom. Or wait, no, that's Harmony. I'm thinking. Anyway, um, if you're even playing this card normally, chances are it's not going to cost 5.
Yeah.
4, 3 is
I think
very
3 is,
reasonable. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is not on its own good enough. Celestia will cost 3 sometimes. Well, how often she. Um, so, draws this card to dismiss a Frightened Friend. Pretty good, given that probably had Frightened Friends in play already to get this card into play in the first place. And 180 score point is excellent. So, yeah, it's I believe it was pointed out that the last 2 abilities are kind of in tension, because you want your opponent to have more Frightened Friends in play so you can score points, but you can use this card to get rid of their Frightened Friends.
Yeah, but as long as you can frighten enough friends, it's fine. Just keep them frightened. But at the same time, like if your opponent has just 3 frightened friends, they'll probably play 2 to unfrighten 1, just so you can't score a point.
Yeah, I mean,
but it is at the end of the turn, so I guess you can still frighten stuff.
Yeah. When I think about it, I can see this card maybe being like a cornerstone card of a deck that just frightens stuff. Because there's like the new blue resource that
Yes.
your opponent needs to pay extra to play stuff, or else it gets frightened, and all the stuff that blue's already got. And then yeah, I can see this card maybe being like that deck's win con.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Maybe this will finally bring frightened decks into, because frightened decks like existed since Changeling Drone, maybe.
Yes, that is true.
And every time frightening gets some love, more and more love, it never really took off anyway. So maybe this time, because in this set there's a lot of love to frightening.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Next card.
Next card. The other tricolor song. We had Better Way to Be Bad way back when things were getting started. This is our orange, pink, yellow one.
Oh yeah, that was so long ago.
Yeah. 2's on the cost, 6 on the flip. Choose one. Main phase timing. Choose one. Opposing cards don't ready during the controller's next ready phase. Or draw cards until you reach or exceed your maximum hand size. Or opponents can't spend action token turn.
Actually, wait. Better Way to Be Bad is Leaders and Legend cards. That's why it was so long ago.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was thinking here.
So do we know the other? Right. The other tricolor song was the I know we have seen it.
Yeah, I
And I
can't
know the
remember.
art. It's the TMC.
Oh, like the growing up ones.
Yeah. I don't remember the
Okay,
name of the
yeah.
card.
Oh,
Yeah.
being big is all it takes.
Right. There we go. Yes, it was like the
Yeah,
first card spoiled.
I spoiled that card
It was
and I
like two
couldn't
months
remember it.
ago.
No, it was way earlier. It was the prize for winning online con 1. So that was like in March, I think, or April.
Right. So yeah, it's been a while. Hard to keep track of these things sometimes.
Yeah, and very technically, it was the second card that was spoiled. Or, well, I guess Smithers received his card earlier, but I spoiled mine first via my regular ways, changing channel names and stuff. Either
Oh,
way, this card.
this card. Yeah. Um, all of these options are situationally very good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, if your opponent's got a lot of stuff already exhausted, if your hand is almost empty, if your opponent's got a big action bank, want to neutralize during your turn. But there's no like universally good option, really.
well,
Card draw to some extent. That's always going to draw you at least some cards. Well, I guess that's not necessary.
opponents can spend action tokens. I like that. I like that in my combo decks.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a reasonable use for it. It's a good Kickstarter to a combo. Better
Uh,
than the 4 cost for EEA.
that's true. That's way better. And there's so few things your opponent could do without spending AT that if you happen to be in those colors of the song, 2ET is so much better than EEA.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike EEA, if your combo happens outside of the main phase, this card works with that. So
Oh, yes. Now, yeah, as you say, it is pretty much only good, I think, if your combo is already in those colors. Because if you're gonna like splash into them with a rainbow generator or something, your
yeah, no.
works out to the same cost at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But orange and pink are good combo colors.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not like I'm running a deck with those colors or anything. Hey, another way you can use this card in combo is remember that Luna that lets you skip a draw? If you have like infinite tokens on the board, you can keep skipping your draws and gaining AT until you have enough AT to do whatever you want.
Good point.
Uh,
I mean, you don't
Before
need.
this, you had to use Lyra for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't need infinite. You just need
45, yeah.
45 and enough mismains.
Yeah, but like if you dream, might as well dream big, right?
Oh, sure.
There was a deck. I don't remember who built it. Might have been Sketchbeam. I don't remember. He called it paste eating contest, and the idea was to play enough friends on the board to do the same thing with Lyra. So like he wasn't generating tokens. He was just pumping out enough friends to win the game, to exhaust them and win the game. That was a fun deck.
Yeah, I can imagine something similar.
Oh yeah, Skither. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, I
Right.
agree.
That,
I
that
think
does
that was
that does
Skither.
sound like. All right. So all that aside, you think there's much utility outside of combo?
I mean, So opposing cards not ready during their controller's ready phase could be really useful, especially with all the exhausting shenanigans going on with orange. Like it's basically kind of like playing Fume,
Hmm.
but at the same time, this card is also pink and yellow, which makes it a little bit more annoying because I don't think if you're building an exhaustion deck, you would build it in yellow. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, the exhaustion deck is naturally orange pink. Um, in which case
Yeah,
yellow is just a little splash in, I guess.
yeah. Drawing cards until you reach the maximum hand. You said outside of combo. Maybe in combo, it's obviously useful. Well, in that particular combo with like that draws your entire deck. But outside of combo, I guess like in mid range, like orange pink mid range, you could run out of steam and want to refill your hand. But at the same time, you need yellow for this, and you might as well just run, I don't know, uh, pink is present, which gives you more utility, so to say, for that, because pink is present also lets you steal a friend. And 4 cards is not as. It's not that few. Like, yes, this can potentially draw you more, but I think four
Right.
cards is usually good enough.
Yeah, that's a more reasonable average case, I think.
Mm-hmm. Opponents can spend action tokens this turn. Sounds fun with the Rain Boom if you're willing to go 4 colors.
Alrighty, moving along.
Yep.
Chrysalis, that's right. I actually don't remember when this was, where it came from. Um, Probably just dropped in Discord one day.
Yeah, by Aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, 5 power, 0 points. A pretty competitive power to points ratio. Uh, and you need -1 to confront this card's problem for each trait among opposing characters.
Troublemaker aggro.
Yeah, goes pretty well with Cozy.
Yeah, don't play that tricorn there.
Absolutely.
It's like -6 or more.
Yeah, as Pancake points out, an amazing draft card or limited card in general. Uh, Very
Yeah,
competitive ratio and gives you aggro possibilities on the back as well.
yeah. It's basically like playing a troublemaker friend of sorts. Because while it doesn't provide power to confronting, it still helps you confront.
Yep, it is guaranteed to be at least -1 to confront this card's problem. Yeah, it's impossible for your opponent not to have any traits.
Oh yeah, this is not limited by area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have a main, and there's no way to remove a trait from a main. Yeah, pretty good.
I think so. Yeah, it seems just like a pretty straightforward, um, good value troublemaker. In core, thinking about like the control troublemakers. Well, I mean, control just got talking about how this card is okay for aggro as well, but it's not an awful control troublemaker either, given 0 points and 5 power. That's
Yeah, but I think there are better options out there.
Mimics and
Mimics.
the new Grogar we're gonna have in this expansion, which is much worse than the
New.
current Grogar, but still not awful.
I mean, the one that exhausts.
No, the replacement for the villain that's getting
Yeah.
banned.
But I mean, other than mimics, you have other options, and there are other 0 points options too. And I don't think, like, if you're playing hard control, you don't really need this bonus of like big confronting problems for less, because you can probably stack up enough power to keep confronting one problem. You don't really need help with that usually.
Fair point, yeah.
But yeah, in draft and aggro, I want to see what troublemaker aggro will look like at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hello, Bugle. Apologies. Well, no, I don't know why I'm apologizing to you. Good to have you. Didn't miss too much, just 3 cards.
Next card.
Next card.
Beagle did miss the icing though, so
It's true. True. Why don't you give us the introduction to this card, Hisrock? I know you appreciate this character so much.
yeah. The card that should not be named, Field Healer. This card does not count against your home limit. Your home limit is increased by 1. It's kind of the opposite of the Professor Rarity.
Yes. Professor Rarity decreases the opponent's home limit by.
Yeah. Also, yay, more Royal Guards that yellow can have now.
I mean, true. Fair enough. Gets us up to, well,
5 or
5 if you.
8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you're really you really want to go for it, probably even 6.
Yeah. Well, so you can create more of these if you want. This card is a valid target for Herd of Adoring Fans.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the best target, but do that.
So, do you think that yellow is packed enough with like staples to not have room for this card? And is the home limit increase worth it over some other cards that yellow has for 2ET?
Well, so Thorax appreciates this a lot. Well, like,
That's true, yeah.
not you know, not the Thorax orange version. It doesn't care, but the
Yeah.
the monothorax version. This is +2 power after a DFO. Essentially, you get to save.
Yeah.
So I think that deck would use it.
Yeah, I agree.
The others, I mean, this can be looked at as kind of like half of what Day Shift was, right? You don't get the free moves, but you do get to keep the stuff after the face-off. Which, admittedly, that's
Yeah, but the move.
that's the worst part of what Day Shift did for you.
Yeah.
Still something, but it's true. Yellow's got a lot of really amazing stuff in it right now. That, yeah, unless the deck, as specifically like Thorax, gets something very very good out of it, probably a bit of a questionable.
Yeah. But it's okay. Not every yellow card has to be better than the previous staple one.
Good point. Yeah.
But yeah, Thorax is a very good point. Probably really good card for Thorax. Next card.
All right.
Don't like looking at this character too much.
Even with a mask on.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Stepped Unity.
Right. Did we already? We had already seen the text here, right? This is just an art update.
You can just stop asking me that. I
Okay.
have no idea.
I I had forgotten when I was putting these slides together, but I think there was a provisional Rainbow Dash, yes, that had this text.
Okay, yeah, Bugle helps us
Yeah.
because with like because of the fact that some of those cards were like spoiled during playtest stream, right? And they only later on got the art updated, were reposted again. It's when they are reposted, it's really hard to remember: is it a new card or that's been spoiled, or is it just an art update?
Yeah, I'll second that. Not that it's a complaint. Personally, I appreciated the ability to see the cards early on.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Just a little bit difficult for us tabulators. So, yeah, we spoke about this. Must have spoken about it a month ago when we spoilers before. Shall we just move on, or?
Yep.
Alrighty,
Churokov.
Rockhoof, yes. Uh, cost require to power free requirement. If one of your resources would leave play, you may exhaust this card instead. 2, card does not ready next ready phase. So
This is cheap. Like, all you have to do to save a resource is to exhaust this card. Don't even have to retire anything, and it's repeatable. And
beatable
it
on a
costs 2.
staggered schedule, but yes,
Yeah, but that's like miles better than any other resource protection we've had before. Like,
pretty
okay,
much, yeah.
can you name one other card that was protecting resources?
Well, there was ultra rare Spike Main. Not that anyone used him for that purpose, but he could do it, and he only
Okay,
flipped, and then you had to play 4 cards to get him back over.
yeah.
Uh,
So that was even more staggered.
yeah. Besides that,
There,
I mean, I can think of a few, but I know they were much worse than this.
yeah, I know there's repair team resource, which you had to retire in order to save the other resource. And yeah, so this is the best we've got, and it's pretty good. Orange getting some really good anti-yellow stuff in this entire set,
Yeah.
with all of the dilemma replacement, all the good event, what's like events it's got for control. I might just be switching to orange. And now they play Middlebrook, and it's like, okay, I just exhaust my Rookhoof.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had a desert road out anyway, right? Meadowbrook
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
that's true. But if they try to get rid of Desert Road, I have Rookhoof.
Uh huh. Yeah. Now that is the card that jumps to mind right away as the giant resource that Orange has that many opposing decks need to get rid of, or else they don't function.
Yeah,
As far as
but
other resources go,
yeah,
well,
but the main part about this card is that it's repeatable.
yeah,
Like you'd have to have 2 resources removals to get rid of 1 resource with this card, and then it goes back up online after this anyway.
yeah. It's having 2 pieces of resource removal even present at once is not easy. Having to
Mm-hmm.
burn both of them to get rid of 1 resource, that's can be pretty taxing on opposing decks.
Yeah. Of course, you
Even
could have like a friend removal and then a resource removal, but still, uh, having another a friend removal is also like pretty taxing, especially on the yellow.
yeah, given like it actually that's a good point that you bring up. Like normally yellow is really good against orange because orange is full of relatively large bodies with high costs that are awful against unsatisfactory work. But given that now, if this card is getting unsatisfactory work, then orange is feeling pretty good.
Well, if this card gets unsatisfactory work, this probably means that they want to remove one of your resources. But yeah, they wasted 2 cards, and you're going to replay this card anyway. And if you have like this card with combo with Desert Troll, that's even worse. Because they can't really play Middlebrook anymore anyway, even if they remove this card. So good! I'm playing orange now. Goodbye, whatever color, other color. Orange purple is my new go-to. Because I like purple so much, and because I now like orange. I'll show you Middlebrook.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think orange purple like a strong possibility.
Yeah, it even has its own ember, which is Spike, so little ember.
Well, Bugle is evangelizing for orange pink.
Of course, Bugle would pick pink. Pink.
Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Okay. We're getting a
Cheerleader. Did we see this one before? No, sorry, no. I went too far.
okay.
Yeah, it's Legacy Leech.
There we go. I just so confused there for a second.
It's a cheerleader, don't you see? Tyric is so good at cheering.
Don't think that's what I'm looking at right now. Anyway. 3 cost, 6 power, 2 flip. Banish any number of events from discard piles. Gain 1 AT for each event banished from a discard pile from. Oh, yes. Gain 1 event for each 1 AT for each event banished from a discard pile from your discard pile this way. Draw a card for each event banished from an opponent's discard pile this way.
Yeah.
So, if you've played a number of events over the course of the game, then you can get a pile of AT back. If your opponent's played a lot, then you get to draw some cards. Seems like the kind of card that is close to combos. And combos is kind of one of the things that I think about when I see a card that gain you lots of AT and draw you lots of cards.
I like this card.
Care
But
to
yeah.
elaborate?
Well, because, as you said, combos.
Yeah.
Like, over the course of the game, well, the thing is, you have to banish 3 events for it to be free. And banishing any less than that is kind of on AT, at least as far as combo is concerned. But like, if you banish 3 events from your discard pile, which you will probably have, since over the course of the game you'll probably be trying to control your opponent a little bit, like belly flops and stuff like that. Basically, disrupt them, right? So they don't win the game too fast. You'll probably have some events you can sacrifice to this card, and 3 is not that much of an unlikely number. And your opponent is also likely to have events. So if you make this card free, it's basically free, and you also get to draw some cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't really think of a reason why you wouldn't banish all the events in your opponent's discard pile. Well, unless you're going to overdraw you.
If they play Celestia.
Well, yes, yeah, that's a good point. We are talking, of course, about the purple Celestia from last set, +1 power for every banished event. So yeah, that is potentially a good reason why you wouldn't want to have too many banished events out there. But you can also play her yourself with this card and reap the benefits.
Yeah.
I remember there being a oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead now.
Well, yeah, I remember there being a discussion about whether this was necessarily a best as like a two of or a singleton. Like, it seems unlikely that you would want to or even be able to play this card 3 times over the course of a game.
No.
Yeah. But
Well,
go on.
the next one you play is one cheaper because the first one will be in discard pile. I think 2 is a good number because if you put a singleton right, it's not really guaranteed that you'll get it. And well, maybe that's not like maybe you don't need it to be guaranteed. But if you want like to somewhat consistently get it, I think 2 is a good enough number. And 3, yeah, you'll know. I have hard time imagining playing it 3 times
Yeah.
or 2 times even.
Yeah.
But 1 time I think is good enough.
Yeah. I have a hard time thinking of a deck that this card would be so crucial to your plan that you want to like guarantee that you get it. But certainly I can see it being as like something that it'll be nice to have when I've done all this stuff and played a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
events and boom, now we get to refuel. It's like your card draw and your pink aggro or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also flips for 6.
Also flips for 6. Always good to eye on that
Next card.
card.
I believe this one is also Bugle's spoiler.
Yes. This was Bugle's very recent spoiler of last week, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was last week.
Yeah. So, very, very interesting card. This is Cake. 2 power, 2 cost, 4 pink rec. Bugle already went into great depths of explaining why each of these details matter in his article. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Main phase, pay 2 and exhaust this card to retire a friend. Then 2, search your deck for a pink friend with cost less than or equal to the retired friend's cost. Put it into play. Haha, very good. Then shuffle your deck, obviously. This
Fun.
is a pretty incredible ability. You get to search up a friend with cost less than or equal to the
Mm-hmm.
retired friend's cost. So, like you could cycle the same friend into play if you wanted to re-trigger its enters play ability. You could, if you had a particularly large friend that you retired, you could get pretty much anything, some pretty big stuff. And it doesn't have to be only pink.
Yeah, it can be multicolor.
Yes, any pink multicolor works just fine.
Which is why my combo deck loves this. I can find those featherbangs or applejacks with pinkies on a whim.
Reasonable point, yeah. If you've got, if you've got a very high requirement, low cost card, you can play a low requirement, low cost card like an entry or something else in the early game, and then cycle it into your big card later without having to worry about the requirement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the possibilities, well, they're not endless, but there's a lot of really interesting possibilities here.
Yeah.
Something I don't think I've seen anyone mention before on the card. It has natural synergy with experienced, as you're retiring the experienced friend and then putting another one
But
into play.
like pay 2 to give a card +1 power? Question mark.
I mean, if you got nothing, well, you also potentially get to get a free move.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I mean, this. What's really interesting to me is that this is very, very close to being a main phase portal.
Yeah.
Where you've got the friend leaving play, you've got the friend entering play. It costs 2, can only be pink stuff, but yeah.
I would like a portal attached to a friend.
I mean, actual portal attached to a friend would be pretty fun for everyone.
Not for me. But yeah, can also find the Pinkie Pie tricorn. You would have to have another tricorn for that though first, or the good card that goes with this. I don't remember the name. It it's a Discord that costs 5, and you like dismiss a friend and put a token copy.
Oh yes. That was a relatively recent Discord. That just last set.
Yeah, that was the last set.
Second opinion. Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Yeah. So the thing is that that costs 5, and it is a one-time use card. Like you play it and it does the thing, and you forget about it. So you don't feel bad about retiring it pretty much ever. And 5 cost is enough to find you anything. You can find tricorns like Pinkie Pie, or you can find other Discord. Although I don't remember if he is enters play or when you play. You can find main 6.
I mean, at least
Wouldn't
that
do
is
anything,
when
and
you
they're
play.
banned. So yeah,
Yeah. As mentioned in the chat, I believe this was brought up relatively with regard to this card. Doctor Who's Unblinking, very old card, illegal in Harmony. Let's see if I remember correctly what the text actually is. It was when this card enters your discard pile, you get to search for another one and put it into play at home, frightened. But if you do it as a part of this, you would also get to bring out another 5 cost friend. Oh, play it for free. Thank you. Um,
wasn't that the abuse of the spinny lane?
yes, similar. Actually, quite similar. As you mentioned it, I mean, you're not getting 5 AT, you're getting a 5 cost friend for free, but
Yeah.
functionally very close.
Well, not for free. You have to pay too.
Well, yeah, pretty good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I don't think we've mentioned yet is, given that this is pink, if you don't have a high cost friend to retire, you can just steal an opponent's friend and do that instead.
Yeah, I would like to have your tricorn, if you don't mind. Oh, so sad we don't have Berry Punch in our soul anymore. Those were good times when they were unbanned. Now we only have Pinky's present. And I think that's. Well, I guess we have the exchange control stuff in core.
Yes.
I see Beagle in chat wants to turn everything into Pinky, including Twilight.
Yeah. Like a valid, seems like a valid deck idea to try.
Alright,
All
next
right.
card.
All right. I believe after this, now we're on to the
Cheerleader.
yes, the card you've been telling us
Yeah,
about for.
I was so excited about this card. I was so excited that I jumped forward to see it.
All right. So these were cards from Sim's stream last week, and for the most part, yeah, these will be cards that I've never seen before. So let's see.
Yeah.
Ocellus Cheerleader, 2/2/1 competitive. We all knew that was going to be the case. Cheerleader effect turns a face up or face down troublemaker over. Usual caveat that this is cheating, cover and uncover. So that's the geese effect, right?
Yeah. Except on purple.
That's in purple. Yeah. Which, I mean, that is granted, goose or anyway, that card gets a lot of its utility from the fact that it's immediate speed, whereas this is only when this card enters play.
Yeah. So, good with Selena.
Uh-huh.
Good potentially with well, since we know there's some purple troublemaker aggro going on, could be good there too. It has competitive one for aggro, as all cheerleaders do. And since it's a troublemaker aggro, you're going to have troublemakers. And turning your troublemakers face down could be useful if you don't need them like this turn, or you're about to do a DFO. Although I think the part of having troublemaker aggro is that your troublemakers are actually face up, because I think it was like reducing confront requirements, right?
I actually totally forget what Cozy Glow does.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Um,
Troublemakers don't prevent you from confronting this card's problem. If you would score this card's problem bonus points, you may score the points of the troublemaker. Yeah, that's the thing that
right.
the Cozy does. Right.
So you do want to have the troublemaker face up during your score phase. For sure.
Yes. Well, the thing is, it says if you would score this problem's bonus points, like if you have a troublemaker that is not at the problem, like at the 0 or 1 point problem, where you're not going to score bonus points, you might as well turn it down and keep it for the next time.
Reasonable point, yeah.
So I think there is some synergy there, which potentially could be tapped.
Yeah. Or, for what it's worth, you could use this to functionally play the troublemaker face up. You play it and then you uncover it as you're moving to confront, and then you get your free points.
Yeah. It's a 180 to score 2 points, basically. Well, I guess I also have to play as Alice.
Yeah.
But still, could be pretty good value. We need a 3-point troublemaker.
Well, those do exist.
Oh yeah, we did get a 3-point troublemaker. It's the
and that's
yeah,
actually
so
really good because this I forget if that card's a villain or not. Is it?
it's not a villain, but it
Right.
like frightens every
Right, but it
turn, I think.
does it have an uncover effect?
No.
Okay. In any event, this would allow you to use cards like troublemakers with uncover effects. You can still like sort of confront into them because this is not an uncover. This is only a turn face up. So if you say you were playing Harmony and you wanted to use a villain to up your bonus point count, you could do that with this card.
Yeah. So Breeze mentions that they're both epic, but Cozy Glow doesn't care about that because she says troublemakers don't prevent you from confronting this card's problem.
Right.
That's
So yeah, just you still need to have something else on the other problem, I guess. But
yeah.
with her, you can confront into an epic, no problem.
And dilemmas also exist. You can score a problem's bonus points without ever confronting it.
Point. Sure, if like purple doesn't have a whole lot of great dilemma options.
Nah. Purple has a dilemma that you can't confront.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite what you want to do in aggro.
I'm interested to see that deck as it's taking shape and what form it's eventually going to occupy.
Yeah. Next card.
Next card.
It's
right.
Kevin.
Yes. I remember seeing this card and being initially pretty confused as to what exactly
Gavin.
this text does. So, be clear here. Ivana, present. Yes, as mentioned, it's 2/2 colorless, no immediate color, except of course that as this card enters play, it gets a color. Very much Kevin so far. And then yes, your unity requirements are reduced by one of each of this card's colors.
So this card basically has free power for the as far as Unity is concerned. That's all that effect does.
Yes. If this card is blue, then it's giving you 2 blue power by being blue, and for the purpose of calculating unity requirements, it has an extra blue power.
Yes,
And if it
so
were,
free total.
yes, and if it were to also be given another color, then the same function would apply.
Yes.
So, pretty interesting effect. In no, unless you've got high unity requirements, this card is basically just Kevin. Which Kevin saw play on a time, but
Well,
sorry, go on.
the thing about this card is that you might have some decks where it is unlikely that, like, I think this card is very useful for offsetting that one power, because most of the cards you're going to have, well, I guess some of them are odd numbered too, like freeze. But the point here is, like, you might build a deck in such a way where you'll be always, like, your average board situation will be usually one short of like some unity requirement. And I think this card is pretty good at offsetting that without investing anything else. Because like getting something of one power is usually pretty inefficient.
So let me think. The unity levels are 5, 7, 10, 15, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you're starting with a main character gives you 3 automatically. This
But
card,
I well, you probably don't play this card with in the color of your main character, right? It's an entry.
mm-hmm,
You play it as an off color, and in an off color, imagine if you like all of your friends in your deck, right? Like you're playing off color white, yeah, and all of the friends in your deck are 2 power, and you have a card that has Unity 5 white, right?
that would be
And
the
given that,
the 5/10 step card is one that has that.
yes, so if all of your cards in your deck are 2 power, then you'll be at either 4 Unity or 6 Unity, right? Which is fairly annoying because you have to spend 3 cards to reach 5 requirement. And this card helps you offset that without any extra cost, really. It's just 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
Unity 5 cards all have free power. Well, we don't talk about that.
right. Well, to be fair, yes, I think, and Bugle points it out, the Unity 7s are a pretty good example because they are all events, and so don't automatically contribute themselves, and so your example as provided is perfectly appropriate. Um, and it's also, I think, worth pointing out that the Unity 5 cards are all also Unity 10 cards, and probably aren't amazing ideas for what you want to do with your off color in terms of Unity. But the Unity 7 cards, I can see like a deck that can functionally reach those in its off color quite consistently is doing pretty good. I think that's a good thing to shoot for.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah. Now I notice Pancake there in the chat saying that the Griffin tag is a pretty important part of it.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
Um, Go ahead.
Well, Griffin is a useful tag for like stop fighting stuff. I mean, all the Harmony Griffin stuff.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, yeah.
I, I don't really have anything more specific than
Okay,
that.
yeah, I was a little confused myself as to what exactly is the big deal. I mean, sure,
Well,
Griffins are great.
I mean, the big deal is that it is a Griffin and not like some other trait you don't really like, ally you don't care about.
Oh,
And 2 for 2 Griffin is pretty good. People have been running that blue
right,
Griffin just
uh,
because he is Griffin.
right, yeah. That's a valid point, yeah. Stop fighting is a card that shows up a lot. In terms of other Griffin synergy, I'm a little bit. I mean, I've always been a fan of Griffin decks, so maybe Griffins will be the way to do the Unity stuff. Who knows?
Yep.
Alrighty. Moving along.
Next cheerleader.
That's right. Yes. Is this all of them now? I think we've seen all of them now, right?
I lost count, I think. So?
I know we've seen Mulder,
Yeah, we're
Gallus,
setting the blue one.
Silverstream.
Was Gallus white?
Gallus was blue.
Oh, well, yes.
Right. So
Who was white
we
then?
haven't seen Sandbar yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be white. So anyway, oh, Google says we have seen Sandbar.
Maybe?
If so, apparently we both completely forgot about him.
I mean, we forgot the Cozy Glow main too.
That's
So.
fair enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have seen him. He's right here in the spoiler album.
Alrighty.
When this card enters play, if you have a cheerleader friend with different name, you may put a friend from your discard pile into your hand.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Yona is
Resource removal.
yeah, cheerleader stuff, and then yes, dismiss a resource because yellow needs more of that.
I mean, sure, as long as it's not mass resource removal with troublemakers.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's honestly fairly restrictive. Resource removal. It
Yeah. You have a lot just better options.
yeah. Now, if you're playing the cheerleader deck, this nebulous cheerleader deck that exists somewhere out there, and who knows what it looks like, then sure, this is sort of resource removal that fits inside of what you're trying to do. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty good there.
Yeah, like you don't have to spend some slots on running just cards that just do resource removal, since this card feels the double duty of being the cheerleader and the resource removal. But other than that, fairly standard, like nothing special about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So Google gives us the whole cycle of what all the cheerleaders do. Uh, Gallus readies a card. Smolder discards random cards from your opponent's hand. Silverstream to borrow a friend. Spells to turn over a troublemaker. Sandbar, as you just saw, to a friend from discard. And the cheerleader's outfit from 4, which just gives cards compared to 1. And admittedly, I don't see much of a unifying principle there, which makes me wonder if maybe a cheerleader deck doesn't really exist.
I mean, they all have competitive.
They all have competitive. They're all 2-for-2 friends with benefits that way. As in they're a little bit better than your average 2.
Yeah. Didn't we all, like, we also saw cheerleader outfits, so there's that.
Yeah. I, I, hmm. We'll see. It's making me think less of a deck that does just is all cheerleaders and more in terms of yeah that this is kind of a synergy that you can maybe fit into other decks.
Yeah. Next card?
Next card, sure.
Wishing Flower.
Okay. Wishing Flower, yes, 2 cost. 1 purple and white. Goes to home, is unique. When an opponent plays an event, you may retire this card and pay 1 to copy that event's effects. Very interesting. When an opponent plays a resource, you may retire this card and pay 1 to put a token copy of that resource into play. Okay. Okay. So it is ability to copy the opponent's stuff once. That's pretty
Yep.
interesting. There are some interesting events that you could have, and pretty interesting resources that you could have. This has the potential to create some very interesting board states if the opponent walks into it, which presumably they.
Yeah, but Sea Beagle in the show they actually got 2 wishes. They turned it to grown-ups and then they wished back. So, see, it has 2 pellets. Beagle says you only get 1 wish.
I see. Yeah. I mean, you do get only one. The way this card's worded. Yeah. So big events like, well, copying their Sonic Rainboom would be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Um, what else is there?
School. I copy your school shut down. That works, right?
Well, you just make us all shuffle our decks again. Wait, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing changes.
yeah. Oh,
that was the joke.
copying read the manual from that's pretty good. Just gain 5 AT. Granted, that's Harmony, but Harmony
Yeah.
is where the fun in interactions live.
Well, the thing is about since it's a proactive thing, your opponent just won't play events
Yeah.
that could potentially be compete like that or resources. They'll probably get rid of this first. So it's kind of event prevention. Like it's this card is less copy an opponent's event and more of harsh judge.
Yeah.
It's at least that's the way I see it.
Yeah. Which,
And
yeah,
we can like talk a lot about what you can copy, but in reality, your opponent just won't play things.
which, if that's the role that it's serving, then low cost, low requirements is good, and it's got that. Um, if this is serving as a buffer against opposing events and resources, and they have to get rid of it before they want to do either one, then relatively
Yeah,
low cost you can put into play, and
yeah.
oh,
The interesting part is how to get rid of it without playing an event or resource.
good point. Yeah.
Only yellow is good at that, and I guess purple in harmony. But yeah.
Well, wait a second. If they play an event that gets rid of this, there won't be time for you to trigger this thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's how triggers work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not as your opponent plays an event. Yeah. Just have Rockhoof, that's easy.
Uh,
Orange, purple, white, new meta.
I
I'm
mean,
all for it.
so yeah, yeah. Those are the colors. Could very well be, honestly. That is actually an interesting idea. Yeah, well, again, your opponent won't walk into it, but yeah, they try to get rid of your resource and it just bounces off and dismisses one of their resources instead.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool card.
Yeah, interesting card. Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's an effect that you would probably see more in a super rare than a rare, to be honest.
Uh,
But it is a rare.
yeah. Anyway, I moved it along to I can get it. Alrighty. Another multicolor card, orange and pink. 1/1. Chaos effect that when this card is flipped, you get to flip an additional card, and during face-offs in general, you get to flip an additional card, then ignore one of your flip cards. That is old text. I remember
Random.
well, random, yes. But there was another card that did like exactly this way back in Premiere. That was a long time ago. I feel like it was a white card that did exactly this, but maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, whoops. Featherweight. Yes, that's right. It was a featherweight. Oh right, right. But it was opponent's cards. Um, Still, you will get the additional chaos effect of flipping those two cards. Pretty good. And get to choose to only take the higher one.
Yeah. And if you have like multiple flipped cards before this, you can choose the lowest one to ignore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And funnily enough, this goes pretty well um, in a chaos deck, given that it has a chaos effect itself, and you know you're potentially not particularly displeased about flipping this, since if you have one of these in play, then the fact that it's got two power doesn't matter at all. Yeah.
Yep.
To answer your question, Prism, I believe that the chaos effect still triggers.
Yes.
Yeah.
It triggers, and it ignore really means just you don't count it for the face off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anything else stays the same.
Now, if you that is like I noticed that that's mandatory. So if the opponent has like a spooky ruins in play, and you would only flip one card then, right? And you would have to ignore the flip card?
Yes, but what this means is that this card doesn't increase the amount of cards you flip, right?
Yeah.
And with Spooky Ruins, you'd normally flip 0 cards,
Right. But
and
you would
with this card, you'd end up with 0 cards anyway.
yeah. Yeah. You would flip 0 cards, except you would have the possibility of getting a chaos trigger,
Yeah,
which is still better, I guess.
yeah. So that's one more way to lose with Slenderman.
I guess so, yeah.
All right, next
All
card.
right, next card, yep. Alrighty. Pound cake and pumpkin cake. Cost, pink 2 yellow requirement, 0 power, printed. Um,
Which is really good.
yeah, yeah. When this card's problem is confronted, you may exchange control of this card and an opposing friend here till the end of the score phase. Interesting. And if this card would be sent home instead. So, um, you are confronting the problem first, for sure. Only getting control of the
Yes.
opposing friend after that.
Yeah.
So if you want to do anything with it, it's got to be immediate speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, well, still useful for a face-off.
Still very useful for a face-off, yes, especially given that card has 0 power.
I'm
So
gonna steal your Daybreaker. Thank you.
pretty good point, yeah.
Pretty good point from Daybreaker, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it costs 2. I don't know, you're the pink yellow expert here with your strawberries.
Not for a
Would you
long
play this
time, but
card?
yeah. When I play this card in that deck, well, that card, that deck's a control deck. It's not really starting face-offs. Um, Pink yellow in general, like it's the example with Daybreaker is obviously very good. That's a best case scenario. Average case scenario,
Yeah.
you're paying to hopefully getting a 3 power or more friend. I mean, it is going to help. It is going to help with winning the face-off. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Bugle brings that up. It's not when you confront this card's problem. It's when this card's problem is confronted. So it is deterrence
Yes.
against the opponent starting a face-off into you. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And in that kind of case, yeah, even in the strawberry deck, I think, yeah, I can imagine myself.
And like the thing about this card is that you pay 2 once and it probably permanently stays the problem until it is removed. Like it's hard to get rid of it because it isn't sent home instead.
Yeah. All right, give me a quick.
Yeah, dealing with the chat.
If I. Oh.
But yeah, that's the interesting thing about it is that like once you play to a problem, it's just there. So it's not a even though you get 0 power towards like your tempo, right? You pay 2 for 0. You still like it doesn't require any maintenance after that. You don't need to move it back or anything. You pay 2 once and it always works until your opponent removes it. And the point about immediate speed retire is that it works kind of both ways. If your opponent has immediate speed retire, they just retire this card. But I don't think we have immediate retires other than Shoe Shine, right? In core right now. Oh yeah, Belly Flop. Yeah, this card is great with Belly Flop.
Yeah, exactly.
How could I forget about Belly Flop? It even has Trixie in it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool card. I think it's worth running for that reason. For the fact that you pay 280 once and that's it. No maintenance required.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do. This isn't the end of our slides. GP.
It's okay. We can get to the end of our slides. It's
Sure.
only one more there.
I guess so. Okay, let's very quickly jump through this ultra rare that maybe we should have spent more time talking about. Anyway, Starlight Glimmer and Chrysalis, cost 3, 4 power, 2 rec. Your starting problems bonuses are increased by 1. Players need +2 wild to confront your non-starting problems. So, let's see. Positive power to cost ratio, pretty good requirement. It is an opening play, at least a very early play if you're playing Buckball in white, for example.
Yeah. Imagine getting this in draft. Ooh.
Pretty good in draft, yeah, absolutely. Well, like it's good. It's very good in draft if you've got a lot of not starting problems. Which
No, it's good if you got a lot of starting problems too, because you just breeze through. Like, the thing, I know that you're probably referring to the fact that the bonus increase kind of like two-sided effect, because if your opponent does a d4, like they get the benefit, so to say, right?
Yeah.
But like in draft, you can't really avoid starting problems because everyone is going to run them. So even if you don't run them yourself, your opponent will still run them. But I guess, yeah, if you have a lot of non-starting problems, better. But what about constructed?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have a bit of a problem in constructed with the fact that there are no white decks in constructed. At least none that I am aware of. So it's kind of hard to think about what kind of situations stuff this card is going to show up in. General,
Yeah.
um, that effect is pretty good. Just like in general, eccentric 2 on your other your non-starting problem, and this card could be anywhere. Also applies to dilemmas. For
Also
what
not
that's worth.
unique.
Also not unique. Yeah, good point. Um, let's see. In a face-off focus deck, you could, in theory, load up your problem deck with lots of starting problems, and then get some significant bonus potential out of it. Starting problems are generally very easy to confront. Usually have low bonuses to go with that. But changing a 1 to a 2 is really good as far as bonus points goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some potential avenues there. You play a relatively easy to confront starting deck. It's all problem deck that's got a lot of starting problems in it, and then you play a bunch of dilemmas, which are going to be harder than they're supposed to be for your opponent to confront anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Need a white main to go with it.
We need more white mains.
Wait, we do?
What I'm once again asking you for white mains. uh yeah, one thing, like I have hard time seeing how all of those abilities would work together, like without all the dilemmas. But even with dilemmas, even if you play them, like you still have your starting problem, and starting problems are generally, well, some of them are somewhat hard to confront, but they are usually not too hard to confront. Like the highest starting problem we've seen, I think, was 10. Well, which is very high, right? But that one had bonus 2 in it. Uh, Generally, they're not, don't go above 7, and the only one in core we have right now is Royal Breakfast at 8.
Yeah. Well, GP, you say they're not designed to work together. You know I'm going to try to make them work together. That's what I do. Find a way to.
But even if they're not designed to work together, like you either use one or the other one, then
Wow. Yeah.
and it's kind of 2 cards, except it's a 1 card. Right, because okay, if they're designed to not be used together ever, and imagine they're impossible like to use together ever, then it's just 2 different cards packed in one. And in one decks, like you'd use one card, and the other decks you'd use the other card. So
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
weird. Color me weird.
Okay, that's a valid. Sure. I'm always interested to see anything that'll give us a little bit more of a push to white in general.
Yeah.
And Bugle points out, yes, Chrysalis is a fine white main.
I think we mentioned free cost for power, that it's cost efficient, and it's
Yeah.
one of other reasons it's really good in draft. That's why I mentioned draft in the first place. And the rec is also very low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we get to the new
Yeah.
card? Okay. Give me a quick second here. I will that over.
Not only this card doesn't have tricks in it, it doesn't have any ponies in it.
Is the 101st. Spoiler.
It doesn't look very amusing, Bugle. I look at it and I don't want to laugh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh yeah, are you ready to get another one too? Because it was just posted.
Oh, really? Beautiful.
Yes. Since I was talking about
Ugh.
orange purple earlier, here's an orange purple thing. Oh yeah, it's this card. I love it. Yeah, I'm playing orange purple now. Goodbye pink. I'm never playing pink again. Uh we'll
Okay.
get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a blink of twilight there.
Yeah. Yeah. The link opened in a different window than I expected it. Anyway, I'll have to add that new card to the slides when we get to it as well. All right. New spoiler number 1 for the stream today. Amusement Factory. 4 flip, 2 cost, purple and pink 3 rec. Play to your home, and at immediate speed, exhaust this card to shuffle one of your friends into its owner's deck. If you do, 1. Interesting. Now, your means controller, so naturally, great. This is an outlet of a thing to do with a friend that you borrowed temporarily. You can just shuffle it back into their deck and
Yep.
even get an AT for your trouble.
Yep. It's belly flop that gives you AT instead of dismissing a friend.
Kind of, yeah. I'd say it that way, yeah. Yeah, like.
But it's way better than like. So like for that purpose, for purpose of stealing friends and removing them, it's way better than many things we've seen before. Like compare this to Sorin. Sorin just gets some power, and this gives you a whole lot of 180, which is I like my AT.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it goes good with twin cakes, as Beagle mentions, and that's why we've got this card. I suppose it's very fitting to the false hitters. They whenever your opponent confronts the problem we're at, or you confront it, you can steal a friend and just shuffle it back and get 180.
Absolutely.
Sounds pretty good. Also, yeah, turns tokens into money, but that's not the first time we've seen tokens. Remember that problem where you retire a friend to get 180? That was fun. I wish this card didn't exist. Oh
Yep.
yeah, Beagle says that you can put gyros back into your deck. That's also really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. There are absolutely synergies with doing it to your own stuff in general. Enters play abilities that you want to retrigger. That's the main one.
Yeah.
You can. Sorry, can you? I'm sorry. Someone just actually knocked on my door. Can you excuse me for a second?
Yep. Well, I guess I'll wait for Cursed so he can finish his thought. But yeah, my general opinion about if a card has gain 180 on it, uh, Okay, I will still. I can talk about Trixies all day.
I'm back. Don't worry.
Oh, uh, I was already preparing to talk about Trixies.
Okay.
Yeah, either way, I like cards that say gain 1 on them. Just like as a general rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what you were saying before you left?
Right. Yes. Well, I think I had functionally run out of sort of brain space. That yeah, you just want to recycle your enters play abilities that you want to get done again.
Yeah.
Especially good if your deck's starting to get a little thin, and so you can feel somewhat confident that you'll actually draw into that card again at some point.
Yeah, the shuffling meta is back. We need that 90 card shuffle deck.
Yeah.
All interploders. Yes, exactly. We need when you shuffle your deck, gain 1 AT. I would love that.
Right. So you just start the game with an AT. Well, no, I guess that card wouldn't be in play. It'd have to be like a starting problem or something. Anyway.
But what about when you shuffle your problem deck, gain 1 AT? Huh? Yeah, you can't shuffle problem decks yet.
Yeah, there is no way to do. Anyway,
So yeah, pink purple,
very
more good
interesting.
stuff.
Yeah,
Hope to see more pink purple cards in the future.
yeah, pink purple. Well, they have a really strong card right now in Selena and Rainbow Shine, functionally very good.
Mm-hmm.
And well, not the most dominant color pairing in the meta right now, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. It's waiting.
Do you want to put Selena back into your deck, Bugle? Your opponent probably wants to.
Yeah, Selena, yeah, generally wants to stay and play out. Unless you're no, even anyway.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, well, give me a second to get the other uh
All right,
card into this slide deck now.
I will use this time to talk about Trixie. You know how good she is? Have you ever thought that we don't have enough cards that say Trixie on them? I think we should have more cards that say Trixie on them.
Okay, here we go.
We need a card that is trick. Oh well. Well, this card doesn't have Trixie in it, but I would still play it because it's Snapcakes. Except it's not Snapcakes.
It's Snapcakes, except we're cutting out the middleman of actually having to
Yeah.
do the face off. It just
It,
yeah.
and unlike detention, it's immediate. You know that feeling when you wanted to napcake a friend, but it's a brine and they will flip it for the face off? Now you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Just put it straight to the bottom.
That's honestly this is a really good card. 2AT, air quoting removal, but it isn't even really air quotes. That's that card, unless they've got access to the bottom of their deck, which
Not impossible.
not impossible. Or a shuffle really
Yeah.
helps out a little bit. That friend is gone and it's not coming back for a very long time. Uh,
Yes. It's a 2AT immediate removal. How about that?
and it's not even in the discard pile for discard pile shenanigans or banished. It's just
Yes.
it's just gone for now.
Yeah. And yeah,
And
and it doesn't have any restrictions. It's just any friend or troublemaker.
indeed. Oh, I don't know how I missed the word troublemaker there. Yeah. Any friend or troublemaker, indeed. As you
Real good on
mentioned,
Grogar.
excellent way to get rid of Grogar.
Unless they get another one and find it again.
Fair enough. Now, you were mentioning earlier in the stream about how you wanted to play Orange Purple.
Yeah, I
And
want to play with Orange Purple even more.
I agree
Like
now. This is starting to look real good.
that other event we've got, the Heat Wave, I think it's called. Like Orange is looking really good. I love it. And Purple is, I mean, this event is in purple, so there we go.
Yeah.
Purple, orange, pink, or white, go. Probably pink because of Selena and
Yeah.
Rainbow Shine.
Yeah, those are really good options. And there's not as much of a need to run white anymore these days.
Yeah. Purple, orange, pink, mist main.
That's a
Yeah.
good point, yeah.
So yeah, pretty good card.
Yeah.
Only 218 to get rid of a thing. Very nice. Free Rex are kind of rough, but you'll get them.
Yeah. In the kind of deck that wants to run this 3 and 3, that's a deal. Your main's flipped and you got a bunch of other cards in play. I'm interested to think actually. Like so Tempest is a natural choice for that kind of deck. If you were to approach this with an orange main, is that even like remotely feasible?
Well, the problem with orange mains is that they're all specific in what they do, and it's not usually not control.
Right.
Like Applejack tooled up is, I mean, I guess you can see her as control since she can like flip you an additional card during a troublemaker face off, but that's kind of stretching it. Then there is Grubber, who is Grubber. Then there is uh, then there's that Applejack, which has a really long title. I don't remember. All day, all work, something like that.
Oh yes.
And she's all about exhausting. So you don't really have a good. Well, I guess exhausting is useful, but I don't think you would have room for all of the exhaustion stuff. Work hard, play hard. There we go. That's the title. So I don't know. Maybe. I think just running a purple main is just better.
Yeah.
This event is really good with talented AB. Yeah.
She was the
Uh,
one that.
Removes abilities, I think.
That's that's the Harmony Apple Bloom.
Oh, that's the harmony. Yeah. Then it was the one that exhausts until like bails out.
Ah, well that is really good then. That's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like yeah, I'm playing or like goodbye blue, goodbye white. Not playing anymore. You know that Toy Story moment where I don't wanna play with you anymore, and he drops the toy, the booty.
Well, no,
Now,
actually,
uh,
I never saw it.
uh, very sad.
But
It's okay. I will make it into a meme and post it on the Discord.
Fair enough.
GP is gasping at you.
No, no, yeah, I
He is right too. All right.
no more spoilers.
Are
Two
there
is
any
a
tricks?
two is a very good day.
What do you mean? There's three separate meme from me. Were there? I don't even remember if I memed anything before on the stream.
Oh,
I guess I did the "Are you ready" thing, which was a reference to
right.
The Princess and the Frog. It's a good song. Either way,
Either way, this has been a good stream.
yeah, this has been a good stream. But all good things must come to an end
This is
at some
true.
point.
Oh. So, thank you all for.
Yeah, let's talk about 32 decks
Yes,
now.
let us spend the next 3 or 5 hours talking
Yeah.
about invitational decks. No, we will not be doing that. Instead, well, we will get to them at some point, piecemeal as the tournament goes on, but we'll save that for as the tournament goes on. So, as I said at the start of the stream, in case anybody missed it, the first match stream will be next Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Maximum length about 3 hours, potentially a little bit shorter than that, depending on which decks we see getting played. Hope to see you
With
all
me,
there.
it's probably going to be 3 hours.
That seems likely. That seems like a fair assumption. The deck lists are all up on Reddit and Discord, and more details will be upcoming when we figure out who the first match is going to feature. Can't wait for next Saturday.
Yep,
Otherwise,
me too.
thank you all for showing up, giving us some chat. This stream will be up on YouTube today. And notwithstanding the fact that the tournament's going to be happening, we are going to keep to a regular Meticulous Talks schedule. So 2 weeks from today will be another stream about something. We'll see.
Yep.
Alrighty. In the meantime, I've been Cursor Chords.
Words. I've been Kirok.
And we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.